7 weather check.
Dead official, after the clearance of early mist and fog patches in some inland areas, Scotland and Northern Ireland will have a dry and warm day. England and Wales will have another dry, sunny and very warm day, and there'll be no rain.
Help save water in London with this capital tip. Now, this one may sound silly, but it makes sense. Put a brick in your toilet system. It keeps down the volume of water in it, and the toilet flushes just as well. Remember, folks, every little helps.
I've tried that one, and it really does work.
Industry, too, seems likely to be severely affected. Cuts of 50% are in store, unless there's torrential rain during the rest of this month. Well, the massive cutbacks have been ordered by the Welsh Water Authority, for whom a spokesman has strongly refuted criticism that they might have been better prepared for such a crisis. And he says that the authority has been exhorting consumers to save water for the past 5 months.
1 million people living in southeast Wales had their water supply cut off this evening. The Welsh National Water Authority is increasing the area affected by cuts introduced 3 weeks ago. Now, parts of Gwent, Mid and South Glamorgan will have no water from 7 in the evening until 8 the next morning. And the Welsh CBI were told at a meeting this afternoon that supplies to industry may soon be cut as well. The drought...
Help save water in London with this capital tip. When making a nice cup of tea, only fill the kettle as much as you really need to. This saves electricity too. Remember, folks, every little helps.
The Thames Water Authority are cutting pressure in the pipes by a quarter. The 6.5 million consumers will find, for example, it'll take longer to fill a kettle. The Water Authority think the move will save 40 million gallons a day.
Ban on using hose pipes on private gardens has been imposed in the North West Water Authority region. It's one of the places usually well off for water. In the Severn Trent area, people have been told to double their present water saving of about 13% or face tougher measures within a fortnight. Devon County Council are organising a list of water carriers to help old and handicapped people if standpipes have to be switched on soon. The council want to organise a scheme under the government's job creation programme.
The government have appointed Mr. Dennis Howell as the new minister to tackle the drought. Mr. Howell, who's also the Minister for Sport, issued an immediate appeal to the public. Please cut by half the amount of water you use in your home.
Householders, says Mr. Howell, should take steps like using the washing machine only once a week and repairing dripping taps within the next couple of days. All of these small things will keep the spectre of enforced rationing just a little further away. Savings that the public can make will be discussed at a special meeting of the Water Council.
The drought has brought a warning to people to stay away from lakes, ponds and fishing spots. It comes after a man was taken seriously ill with a killer disease which is spread in water by rats.
And then everywhere it looks as though it's going to be very much the same sort of day as it was in many places today. That is to say, hot, quite sunny, right throughout the land. And then the outlook for the following couple of days, well, we can see nothing except that high pressure in a broad band right from the Scandinavian area there through Britain.
The people in the desert, they've got to manage. We'll manage. Oh, we'd have to manage, won't we?
How will you manage?
Well, you want baths to wash, will you? They haven't got a garden to water.
Well, we all got a bath in the same water, haven't we? That's all there's to it. But that's what we done last night. We all bathed in the same water. 4 of us, actually. My 2 kids, my missus and myself.
The Water Authority says the drought means reservoirs will stay empty till December.
In order to get the stocks to keep us going for that longer period, despite the savings which have been achieved already, we are going to put on the 17-hour cuts as against the present 13-hour cuts, and we are going to ask for 50% cuts for industry in limited parts of our area.
Last weekend, you remember, the use of domestic hoses was banned in the Thames water area to conserve the dwindling stocks of water. The recent hot weather has meant a huge increase in the demand for water. People are tempted to take more baths, and a bath uses a lot of water. You can help by only filling your bath to a depth of 5 inches. This may not seem much to wash in, but give it a try. Or better still, take a shower if you can.
Seems to be Britain's most successful rainmaker has gone on strike. Mrs. Doris Mundy, who lives in West London, says she's broken droughts all over the world in the last 20 years, but no one has recognized her efforts. Mrs. Mundy says she's not going to do anything about the present drought unless officially requested, because she's tired of being labelled a crank.
The Drought Minister, Mr. Dennis Howell, has been speaking about the effect the dry spell has had on the River Thames. He said that to all intents and purposes the river had now stopped, and on one 4-mile stretch in Oxfordshire, at least 15 million gallons of drinking water were leaking out every day.
The Forestry Commission say that because of the severe lack of rain, most of the trees they've planted this year will die. Meanwhile, the Commons have begun a 2-day debate on the drought bill, which will give regional authorities new powers to control the use of water. It could become law by the...
As if to underline the call for continued savings, the North West Regional Water Authority are planning restrictions in the Rossendale Valley, traditionally one of Britain's wettest areas. One reason, said a spokesman, was lack of public response to water-saving appeals.
Help save water in London with this capital tip. If you turn the tap on to rinse anything quickly, catch the water in a saucepan or bowl. You can use it again. Remember, folks, every little helps.
Thank you, Kenny, and it really does.
Here's the weather forecast for the whole of the country until dawn tomorrow morning. And I can tell you that there's no change whatever in this very hot, sunny weather. It's likely to continue over the next few days. And for most of us, another dry, very hot day with almost unbroken sunshine in most places. Temperatures this afternoon getting up to about 32 or 33 centigrade. That's into the low 90s Fahrenheit. You might think my job here at the Weather Centre is very easy forecasting the weather in these settled conditions, but we are in fact inundated with telephone calls.
Yes, madam. Yes, it is going to continue hot. Yes, I know. Well, we can't do anything about this hot weather, you know. We can only forecast it, and it is going to continue very hot with almost continuous sunshine by day. No sign of very much in the way of clouds coming along. And, well, no, nothing much of a cooling breeze.
A huge heath fire is tonight raging out of control in the New Forest area of Hampshire. Firemen who've been struggling all day to contain the flames this evening called in the army to help them out. The fire covers several square miles, and at one
been warning for weeks now that the countryside is tinder dry and ready to burn, but it looks as though once again the fire's been started by carelessness, possibly at the scrambling meeting, which had to be abandoned.
Because of the spate of fires caused by the drought, a state of emergency has been declared in Staffordshire. This will enable civilians to undertake fireguard duties so as to take some of the pressure off full-time firemen.
Firefighters are finding it increasingly difficult to cope with the record numbers of calls they're getting. And of course, there's still no sign of a break in the weather to help them. The Agriculture Minister, Mr. Peart, has asked all farmers in drought areas not to burn straw or stubble while the hot weather lasts.
The Deputy Chief Fire Officer for Dorset, where yesterday's huge blaze forced 300 old people to move from a geriatric hospital, said no one should dream of lighting a fire in the open, and that included farmers setting fire to stubble. The National Farmers Union say all their members have been given strict instructions not to burn stubble unless it's absolutely necessary, and then there's a strict code of practice.
The General Council also decided to ask all trade unionists and their families to save water to save jobs, to involve shop stewards in water-saving talks with managements, and to seek union representation.
Good morning. Still no sign of the dry spell coming to an end. The high pressure off eastern Scotland doesn't look like moving much. And so the forecast for today very much like those of the past few days. Hot and sunny weather almost everywhere again, including Wales, Northern Ireland.
Completely dry, though normally at this time of the year they're lush and green with plenty for the cattle to eat. Some farmers have called for the region to be declared a disaster area. They're having to feed their cattle straw and concentrates, normally kept over for the winter months, so inevitably increasing their costs.
In conditions that were more like Africa, a blazing sun out of a cloudless sky with the only green grass to be seen along the banks of sluggish rivers, Mr. Peart was able to see what the drought has done to our most intensive livestock and dairying country. Pastures are absolutely bare and burnt up, and trees are dying off in the hedgerows. Even overhead irrigation on growing crops where there's water available is only just...
The torrential rain that fell in northern England over the weekend means the use of standpipes in the West Yorkshire towns will be postponed for at least a week. Thousands of people in Devon have had their water completely cut off and are using 6 inches of rain fell in some parts over the weekend.
No surprise, but the heavy rain of the past few weeks has entered the drought, and that's official.
Keith Best reflects on this summer's exceptional weather conditions.
Summer it's been indeed. The hot spell we had at the end of June and early July was the longest and most intense for some 200 years. But it was the dryness that had the major impact upon us. I suppose for many of us it's been the sort of summer that we dream about, with countless long sunny days just like this. But in view of the problems that have been brought along, I wonder if perhaps we wouldn't be better off with the summer that we usually get.